What is going on, everyone? We're back again with another video. In today's video, we have the World Baseball Classic 2025 qualifier information. This was released on Twitter first by this reporter right here. I think he's been pretty accurate in the past. So this is kind of what we know about these qualifiers. It's 8 teams, the first time it's ever been done with 8 teams. Normally it's been done with 12 teams, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. These are the dates and these are the locations as well. So this one is going to be in Taiwan, which will be really interesting. Taiwan will get to host that, which is pretty cool. And the next one's in Arizona, which is definitely interesting. I'm surprised they didn't let one of these countries host it, to be honest. You figured Germany, because they've hosted it last year, would maybe host it, or Colombia. I don't really know why it's in Arizona. It's kind of weird to me. Imagine this will be at Chase Field or one of the spring training facilities. But those are our locations for this, and obviously they're at different dates, so we can watch them pretty much unfold. And then he goes on to say the round robin format first of each pool qualifier will directly go to the 2026 World Baseball Classic, and the 2 and 3 will play one final game. So definitely very exciting. And the top 2 obviously from each group will get out. So it looks like if you're the number 1 seed, you will automatically go after your round robin format. If you're the 4th seed, you're done. And then if you get 2nd or 3rd, you pretty much play one last game for it. So definitely an interesting format. Last year, they obviously went with the 6-team little bracket, format. You had to win 3 games if you weren't the top 2 seeds to get in, and then there was a whole losers bracket and everything. So I don't know, I like that format, but this round robin format will be very interesting. So you guys don't know what a round robin format is, pretty much this picture can pretty much explain it for us. You pretty much just play every team in the group. That's pretty much how it works. It's really not that complicated. For example, if you're a fan of Spain, you're gonna play all the 3 teams in the group. Whatever the standings is based on the tiebreakers and who you beat and all that stuff, well, how the whole group will work. And if you're 1, you go through, 2 and 3 play each other. So that's how it works. So these are the 8 teams. Surprising picks, I think, for the 8 teams that we have this year. We obviously knew 4 of these teams. If we take a look at the World Baseball Classic right here, we obviously knew Chinese Taipei was going to be in here because they got last in their group. We obviously knew China was going to be here because they got last in their group. Colombia was going to be here because they got last in their group. And then Nicaragua was obviously there because they got last in their group. So obviously these make sense for those 2 teams, right? But the interesting teams for me are the ones that got in. So Spain makes kind of sense to me. We can actually take this is my tweet right here. I actually tweeted out the other day. I think Spain makes sense to me just because they almost qualified last year. And they've been a good country. They've been in the tournament before. So I expected Spain to be in this one. South Africa was also in here. They were ranked 26 before this whole pool happened. So that also made sense to me. But the weird one is, I think, with the teams we get here, obviously Germany went really good. They were ranked 17th and Brazil was ranked 24th. So that made sense to me why they were in there, right? So you might be asking yourself, then why do you don't like the group? It's because the teams they left out I thought were very interesting. Because if you look at the one we had last year, Obviously the Czech Republic and Great Britain both got in, right? And then obviously Panama got in, right? So those are the teams that obviously got into the tournament. We're not going to see any of these teams like Argentina, Pakistan, or even France was really interesting. Because if we take a look at the newly updated standings from the 18th of September, you can kind of see all the countries that went up and down, right? Me personally, I still think it should be the countries that are ranked the best should get in the qualifiers, because there's not really like a good explanation of how these countries got picked or qualified for the qualifiers, at least that the public know, because I can't find anything about that. So if we take a look at all the countries right here, we can kind of go through each kind of country. I did rank them myself, but it's just interesting when you scroll down because you have teams, I think that should be in. It's just interesting to me when you have a team like France at 21 that didn't get in, right? You have all these other teams that you could say that they should have got in. I thought France should have been in there. I mean, you have a team like Belgium, right? I mean, I just feel like they could have had more teams in the qualifiers. I thought they should have done a 12-team kind of thing, especially with the countries ahead of South Africa, right? I feel like a lot of these countries should have had a better shot to get in the qualifiers. But once again, I don't really know how this works and everything like that. I'm not totally sure, how these teams actually qualify for it. So this is how it's going to work. Pretty exciting, obviously taking place in February, which is pretty normal at this point. Who's actually going to come out of this? I think that's the main point. Who's going to come out of this? And the real question for me is who's going to be on the roster, right? Like who's going to be on these teams' rosters? Who's going to get in there? And I don't think we're going to find out till like later, right? We're not going to find out probably to November, December, January time, if I had to imagine, because these teams obviously want to start practicing and all that stuff. So it's going to be very interesting to find out who's on these teams. And obviously for MLB players that, could be from these countries or have heritage there, you guys can obviously take a look at this yourself if you want to, the whole rankings of all the teams pretty much and where they went up and down, because it's very interesting to see like what teams are going up, what teams are going down. Obviously we see the points from this year, which is pretty cool, but every single team getting in there. I really do think the qualifiers should be your rank in the world, in my opinion. I think that's how it should be. So for example, since the Chinese Taipei knocked out, they should be in the qualifiers, and then we go down who's ever not in here. That's what I personally think should happen by looking at all the countries, and then we just break it down like that, because then it encourages your country to play better and get more points, and then you have a shot to be in that qualifier. Me personally, I think that's how it should be, but I also don't know if they did it off 2024 points, because there's a couple countries that obviously had a lot of points that were in the qualifiers. But we have teams like Brazil at 80, which is, pretty interesting. Spain only 59. Where teams like the Philippines got some more points, obviously South Africa got a lot of points. So I don't know if that's how they do it. There's just really not enough, I think, information to really go off of. But in my opinion, who do you guys think is going to win this? Initially looking at this, I think I would have the Chinese Taipei and Spain coming out of that group. And then if I had to choose Pool B, I want to say Colombia and I think Brazil, because I know Brazil has a lot of talent back there and they've honestly looked pretty good. But we'll wait and see until the teams actually get confirmed. That's just my initial prediction, just because I don't know the rosters yet. I don't know who's on the teams, right? But I am surprised Germany did go up a lot in the rankings at 17, which is pretty impressive. Who do you guys think is going to join our 16 teams right here? Obviously, it's going to be a really fun tournament. I cannot wait for these qualifiers to start. Cannot wait for this tournament and all the information that's going to be coming out soon. Hasn't been confirmed, which teams are going to slot into which pool. They haven't announced that yet, or what's going to happen with that. Because even in the last qualifier, we didn't know until the teams, I think, were confirmed, all 4, and they just put them in the pool. So I don't know if they're going to say, if you get the 1 seed of this one, you're going to be in this pool or something like that, like some tournament organizers do. But we'll wait and see for that happens. Should be very exciting. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.